So now there was a couple of things I noticed about the debate last night. One was that it was one of those like Google, YouTube. I can't remember what it was, but they asked the most difficult questions of the least possible victorious candidates. And so they asked like this, there was one question about healthcare that they asked Ron Paul. They won't ask Perry and Romney. There was one kid who called in who said, I'm 25 years old. I would never have health insurance if it wasn't for the Affordable Care Act. What do you say? Or would you repeal this part of the Affordable Care Act when it's given so many of us health insurance, which we otherwise wouldn't have? And of course, that's a great question. And of course, Fox is, gives that question to Ron Paul or Gary Johnson. Somebody who that's not really that relevant. The question really should be asked of Perry and Romney, who are clearly the two front runners. And but they don't do that. And then they ask this question. I'm going to play it now. This is you won't be able to see it now. I know you've seen it, but this is a question that came in from U.S. military personnel. Afterwards, Megyn Kelly, who I actually think may have been manufactured at the exact same factory as Mitt Romney. They must have like a male line and a female line, and they create these robots that are really attractive in a sort of like futuristic way. And they're sort of like these like Cylons. Anyways, and she said afterwards that when this question was first submitted, because on video, he had to have his face digitized out. But since the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which happened earlier this week, we can show his face. But here's the question that he asks, and really what's more relevant is how the crowd reacts.
This question stirred up a whole lot of controversy online. It comes from Stephen Hill, who is a soldier serving in Iraq.
In 2010, when I was deployed to Iraq, I had to lie about who I was because I'm a gay soldier, and I didn't want to lose my job. My question is, under one of your presidencies, do you intend to circumvent the progress that's been made for gay and lesbian soldiers in the military?
Yeah. Boo, boo. You hear people booing. This is stunning to me. And just tell me your reaction.
Well, I'd like it to be stunning to me. After this display the last couple times, you wonder why someone like Troy Davis can be put to death. It's because certainly for the most part, anybody who's a Republican wouldn't dare come out against it because their base are death lovers. But apparently, they're also gay haters. Well, not apparently. We've known that for a while. But I mean, this is literally the mob. This is the definition of like not the mob as in mobsters, but a mob. I mean, this is like I compared it, in a column I wrote a week ago to like a lynch mob. And I really don't think they're far off from that. Like, I think, honestly, you're seeing like literally the most degrading aspects of human nature. The pure just hatred in these crowds that come to them. I mean, it's like, you ever see the end of Braveheart?
Freedom! Oh, yeah.
When they're disemboweling Mel Gibson, which I guess I'd cheer for that too, but I digress. How the crowd is just bloodthirsty. I mean, that's what you've got here, and it's why I've been arguing for a while that everything these guys do is driven by hate. And really, everybody tries to say, "Oh, the Tea Party, they're only about economic issues." No, really, they're not.
No,
they're not even
we
really
know
about
that.
economic issues.
We have empirical evidence that they're not actually now. But
I would say I'd go further. They're not even about economic issues because it's not about like they're not like traditional moderate Republicans who wanted to balance the budget, and it means people that really meant that and believe it. They want to cut spending from people they hate. You know what I mean? They don't want to cut it, not for themselves. If you're Michelle Bachmann, spend it on the family farm. Keep it coming.
Right.
But
don't cut my Medicare. Don't cut my Social Security.
Right.
But
exactly.
cut the stuff that
I
think will affect black people.
Right. That's exactly right. They wield public policy at this point like it's a sword. and they're going after their enemies. And so if they can cut funding from people that are undeserving and ungodly and who they hate, they want to do it. And that's the same thing as the social, but it's all mixed in together. And it really is nothing so much as they're just angry, hateful, vicious people. I really don't know how else to put it, because they're the base of human nature. They cheer on death. You know, if you get in a car accident or a motorcycle accident, you don't have health insurance, it's your fault. If you're gay, too effing bad for you. You shouldn't be. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
What's stunning is,
it really,
what's really stunning about this to me, about this, there are two things. I mean, first off, what the message they're saying is that even though you are fighting to protect us, even though you were deployed in Iraq, even though you did all this, because you're gay, we hate you. I mean, it's like they hate the sin, not the sinner. I don't know why I do that in a Southern accent, but that's probably where I've heard that phrase delivered.
Where would that come from?
But they clearly hate the sinner too in their minds, and there is no redemption for that sinner. It doesn't matter, it's not like, well, he's gay, but he also put his life on the line for us. It's just, you're gay, you're just boo. And what is really stunning to me is we now have the third example, right? The third example of the audience cheering executions, screaming out, let him die, booing a soldier because he's gay, and not one candidate says, wait a second, Megyn Kelly, stop the debate. Hold on for a second. I just want to say that's inappropriate. I disagree with Don't Ask, Don't Tell being repealed, but that's inappropriate. This man has put his life on the line for us. Or I believe that society shouldn't be giving health insurance, but that's inappropriate to say let him die. Or I believe in the death penalty and we need to do this, but we should not be cheering about it. Not one of these 8 people on that stage had the humanity to even put in check that notion of how craven they must be to just blurt it out. I mean, that's what's so stunning about these people.
Well, that's it. The problem, Sam, is that these the people who are in that audience are entirely representative of who the GOP base is. They've created this monster, this Frankenstein, and now they're slaves to it.